It's Albert Breer from Sports Illustrated and Prime Video. What a big game. Yes, round of applause again. Big game tonight, brother.
Huge game, yeah. I mean, I think for the Vikings, it's a chance to bounce back. And, like the Lions took it to them. And I think, one of the things the Vikings took from that was, like, what it's going to take to compete on that level, because the Lions are on that level, and so they start 5-0. This is kind of their, all right, like we took a 10-0 lead on the Lions. It feels like the roof's going to collapse. It's so loud in there. And Detroit, Jared Goff, Dan Campbell, like calmly put their foot in the ground and turn that thing around. So,
which is what a championship team does on the road in division, right?
Yep. And then for the Rams, it's sort of, I mean, God, like with what might happen with Cooper Kupp in the next, week and a half. Like,
are they really? Let's pause right there, man. Are they really shopping Cooper Kupp?
They're not shopping him. They're taking phone calls on him. The mistake that people make is they don't need to shop him. Teams are calling them. I mean, they don't need it. There's no, I mean, you see Hopkins gets traded and Cooper gets traded and Devontae gets traded. And of course, these teams are also calling the Rams because the Rams are sitting there at 2-4 and they were 1-4 before Sunday.
Yes.
And so, yes, the Rams have taken calls on Cooper Kupp. And I think the question is going to be whether or not the value matches up, because what they've told teams is that it's going to cost you more than it cost the Jets for Devontae Adams to get Cooper Kupp out of here.
Which is a 3 to become a 2, but it becomes a 2 with some really lofty
first
goals.
Or second team All-Pro,
and also on a roster of a championship weekend or a Super Bowl.
Yeah, so like I think that part of it. So for the Rams, you can understand their point of view there, which is this is an iconic player. Game winner in the Super Bowl, was a part of Sean McVay's first draft class here. Really, Cooper Kupp's a huge part of them getting their foothold in Los Angeles. So this is an icon, right? And it's a bad look if you're trading an icon for a third or a fourth round pick, right? This is a franchise icon. On the other end of it, if you're a team looking at Cooper, you look at the market, you look at like what Hop just went for, what Devontae went for. You look at Cooper's injury history over the last couple of years, his age, his contract situation. It's like, can't give up a 2 for that. I think most teams would look at it that way. So I think the Rams are going to listen. And certainly, what happens, not only against the Vikings tonight, but what happens against the Seahawks a week from Sunday could affect, how they approach that. If they're 4-4, it looks a lot different than if they're 2-6.
So this is a situation where the next 2 football games really can help you read some tea leaves.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think so, yep.
And what about Nakua's availability?
Yeah, and I think Puka's got a real good shot to play tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah, I think he can play tonight, yeah.
Okay, so for those who have him stashed on their injured reserve, on their fantasy...
I mean, wait till, what is it? I mean, 6:45 we'll know, right? So is that what it is for inactives, I think? 7 o'clock?
Sure, 7
o'clock.
6:45
Eastern. The kickoff, what's the official kickoff?
8:15.
I mean, it's your network. You should know. I mean, you just came from a meeting, Albert. You're looking at us and asking when to go to work. Yeah. You know when to go to work.
Yeah, but I think they feel they've... I mean, it's interesting because the Rams are dealing with all of these injuries. And so, Puka, I think getting a nice surprise tonight would be good, but they still are down a bunch of offensive linemen. And the 2 guards that they paid, or the guard in the center, Steve Avila and Jonah Jackson. Obviously, Avila's a guy they've developed, and Jonah, they paid a lot of money to have him. Mm-hmm. They're probably not getting those guys back till at least week 10. Which is after the trade deadline. So there's just a lot of moving parts with where the Rams are right now. And, I think it's made this like a little bit of a challenging period where teams are calling on your players. Like, what do we do now? Well, I think part of what you do is you wait out a game like tonight and see where you stand.
And the following week, too, because if you think about it here, the Rams already have a home win over the Niners in their back pocket. Mm-hmm. They go up to Seattle and beat Seattle. And they have a road win in division in their back pocket, right?
Are they a half game out right now? I think,
right. Well, I mean, the Niners. I mean, the Niners are 3-4. They're a half game behind the Niners, who are technically in third place because the Cardinals at 3-4 have a back pocket win in San Francisco, and the Seahawks are only 4-3.
Yeah.
So this isn't out of the realm. I mean, there's the division right up there on our screen. This is not out of the realm at all.
No.
For the Rams to actually 2 weeks from now, if things break. Certainly with Kupp and Nakua healthy and active, they could be in first place in this division.
And they're not looking up at the Chiefs here. I mean, the Niners.
The Seahawks have the Bills this weekend, and Tua's back in Miami for the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. The Niners have Dallas, which is very hungry. Honestly, like this is what's so at stake tonight and over the next 10 days, right on the cusp of the trade deadline. This is pretty big.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, who knows? Like with Matthew Stafford, like, could this be, like, you look at how his contract sets up, and we've talked about this since the summer, like, there's an exit from the contract after this year if there's a mutual decision that they don't want, that relationship doesn't go on another year. So, like, they could go from being, like, on the fringe of contention tonight to all of a sudden being back in it with an aging quarterback, an aging receiver, but people who are going to be all in to win right now with this group. It's just a really important couple games for the middle of the season.
Do you think Stafford could be made available at a trade deadline?
Not before the trade deadline.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.